Hi there and welcome back to the 67 Heel Heel channel on YouTube with me, Hamish. It is the grand, big video we've been waiting on for ages, guys. It's a preview to Euro 2020 with Jackie McNamara and Euan. Euan, it's here at last, well, almost. How excited are you?
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. It's been, 23 years, and I remember the World Cup 98 so clearly. Probably amongst my first memories of, football. That was my first Celtic game in 1997. Then obviously the World Cup came a year after, and it was just, oh my God. I remember so much of it. It's just been torturous, kind of waiting for lads to get back into a major tournament, but I can't wait.
Right, Jackie, set the bar for us nice and early. Where should we put in our expectations as Scotland fans for this tournament?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think we're just delighted we're taking part in the finals. It's been, as you say, it's been a long time. I never thought for a minute, when we were involved in '98 that would be the last one. No, just assumed we would be involved in 2002 and in the Euros. It's just incredible, but I'm actually quietly confident. Looking forward to it. I think we're at our best when we're underdogs, as we've said all along. It suits us, and we can quietly go about our business. Hopefully, surprise a few. I think the friendlies have been quite good. I think they'll be difficult to beat. I think that's the way Steve Clarke sets his teams up. He's done it, with Kilmarnock and stuff, and he's done it with Scotland. He's made changes, and I think the players that are coming in and out the team, there's been no real, change. It's not like we've struggled or anything when he's making changes, and I think that's an important thing as well. So I think we've got plenty of options. We've got some good players in the squad that are playing in the top league down the road, and I think it's a lot to look forward to.
So I think we should be coming out of the group anyway. 24 teams in this competition, 16 of them get through to the knockout round. So you'll have, I think there's 6 groups, so it'll be the top 2 teams from every group plus 4 out of the 6 third place teams. So when you look at it like that, Euan, it's almost harder not to qualify for the last 16, given that we've got 2 of the games at Hampden, Czech Republic and Croatia. I think probably 4 points definitely sees you into the last 16. I think 3 probably does as well. I think Northern Ireland in the last Euros went through with just 1 win. So it's achievable, isn't it? Is that for you where you want us to get to knockout rounds and just kind of see what happens?
I'm delighted to be there, and I'm grateful that we haven't got a song leading into the tournament called "Don't Come Home Too Soon." It's definitely achievable, for sure. But I think we could and have beaten the Czech Republic before, so we should be aiming for 3 points from that. Croatia, I think people aren't talking about Croatia enough. They're still a very, very good side. I think they've still got 6 of the team who went to the World Cup final. So they're going to be tricky, but again, not unbeatable. But just even a draw against England would be amazing, because in the build-up they've had all their pundits going, "Oh, who's David Turnbull?" So any chance to take a point or 2 off them would be amazing. Not that I'm a bitter person, but I am also quite a bitter person. So,
do you feel better after seeing the 2-2 draw with Holland and the win over Luxembourg than you did prior to those 2 games?
Yeah, I think the players, I think they know their jobs. As I said, even the new ones coming in, Turnbull come into it and he looked like he'd played before there, and I think we're hard to beat, which suits us. I think we do carry a goal threat, as we've shown in the games. So I think that bodes well for the games coming up. We can defend well in numbers, but we do carry a threat, and even with set pieces, with corners and stuff.
Well, Jackie, you're a humble man as always on the channel, but you should be taking a bit of credit for this Scotland team, because our captain Andy Robertson, you played a pretty big part, I would suggest, in his career. Gave him the opportunity at top division, Dundee United. Stuart Armstrong, another player who you've had a say in his development. We'll get on to those 2 in a wee second. Just before that, should you have had a third player, a third Jackie Mac player in the squad? Ryan Gauld, should he have been in there in your opinion?
To be honest, when I worked with Ryan, I always thought he would be, just with what he had. And you see the kid, he can do things that you can't teach or develop. Similar with John Souttar. The 2 of them were very young at the time, and they had stuff way beyond their years. They were always going to develop in terms of physical and get stronger and get experience with game time. But they were always the quality that they had and the vision that they had at that early age. Young Ryan's, it's taken him a bit of time to get recognition. When he went to Sporting and been out on loan. Last year he was Player of the Year at his team, and there's a lot of teams after him now, and he's still young. You forget that these guys are still young. Another one I worked with was Stephen O'Donnell that we took in. Delighted for him that he managed to make the squad and stuff, and he done well for a boy that was kind of on the scrap heap at 19, 20.
Jackie's dog sitting, by the way, anyone who's watching this and wondering what those noises are in the background. There's not something else going on, it's Jackie's dog. Jackie, what about Andy Robertson then? Because I think we've asked you about him before, and the obvious question is, did you always think he would be able to play at this level? But when you signed him, you must have seen real quality in him to pluck him from Queen's Park and bring him up to the top flight. Yeah,
we played against Queen's Park with Partick Thistle in the League Cup. And again, just a wee boy, skinny wee boy, run up and down there, just desire. But, we took him out of Dundee United at pre-season, and we weren't quite sure if he was going to handle the step up to full-time and be a regular starter. And right from pre-season, he was just like, God, he's ready now. 19-year-old, he was totally ready. And his desire and his attitude every day, that's why he's made it to where he is, and that's why he's won the Champions League and Premier League in a short space of time. It has to be said. When he left us, we only had one season with him. Remember, Dundee United fans were complaining when we signed him that we were signing Queen's Park players. 12 months later, getting pelters for selling them and letting them go. Why not keeping them? But it's football, and I think it's credit to him that he's managed to develop and keep going up and up and up in his progression. Armstrong as well, he's done well when he left. Done really well at Celtic, and then took him a bit of time to get his position at Southampton. But I think he's in a real strong season there. And I think he's again got better as well.
Armstrong's a great player, the way he carries the ball, Euan. I mean, I think it's exactly what we need at the Euros, when we're going to probably be under the caution some of the games, certainly against England and Croatia. I think having a ball carrier like Stuart Armstrong who can, pick the ball up 60, 70 yards away from goal and can run with the ball and can find passes, and of course he brings you the set piece quality as well. I just think he should be starting for us, Euan.
I think he's a fantastic player, and put my Celtic hat back on for a wee second, I don't think we ever adequately replaced him, really. We haven't got someone with those exact qualities, maybe until we got David Turnbull, to be honest. But even then, Armstrong is a player that you can play on either side. He was playing on the right against Holland, if I remember correctly, and that provides a really, really good option. But he is just such a technically proficient footballer. His hair is an inspiration, and we miss him still, I think. But yeah, quality player. But there's so many of them. I don't know, it all came kind of all of a sudden,
Yeah, I think the thing with Stuart is he's got real legs. He doesn't look quick, but he just glides. He's I think that's where he kind of separates from Turnbull a little bit. Turnbull's very good at receiving it and getting on the half turn and turning, getting at the opposition. But Stuart has the pace and the that extra bit of speed to get away from people and glide away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Armstrong played against the Netherlands the other night. He was one of, I think, 9 players in that Scotland starting team that had either played with Celtic in the past or were currently on our books. We're supplying more players to this Scotland squad than any other club side. That was the case back in 1998 as well. Jackie, you were one of 8 Celtic players in that squad. Question for you, you know what's coming. Can you name the other 7?
Gildy was in it. Craig Burley, Tom Boyd, Simon Donnelly. Who's that?
3 to go. There's an obvious one there.
Tosh.
Yeah, it wasn't the obvious one, but...
Myself.
Yeah. No, but there is an obvious what I would call a really, really good, maybe not quite a Celtic legend, but a really good Celtic player. You're going to get pelters.
Else? Hold on. So Boydie, Tosh, Dan Jackson was one.
Yep.
That's not you're talking about, the way.
No, and when you're talking about Andy Robertson winning major trophies, who else has won a major trophy?
For Scotland? Or Lambo?
No.
Lambert.
Yeah. Paul Lambert, a year on from winning the Champions League, I think, with Dortmund when he marked Zidane out in the final, didn't he? So
that
was it. What's the memories from that couple of weeks or however long you lasted in the tournament?
No, it was good. Again, just being involved in it, it was fantastic. The first game, the Brazil game, was unbelievable. You know, the attention on the match, the opening game, the opening ceremony, it was roasting me. Turn up with our kilts on, the players sweating. A wee bit gutted I didn't get on in that game. I felt I could have and should have got on in that. He brought on Tosh and Billy McKinley when we were chasing it. I came on the second game against Norway. He moved Craig Burley in one, and he got the goal, the equaliser, and then started the last game against Morocco, which, in fairness, they were a decent side as well, and gave us a doing that night. Craig Burley got sent off. But to be honest, it was just a great experience. You know, being at a World Cup was phenomenal.
One final player I want to get your thoughts on. We have touched on him on the channel before, Jackie. Kevin Nisbet. I believe you know him from your time at Dunfermline a few years ago. Are you surprised to see him doing so well, and is he a future Celtic player perhaps?
I'm not surprised, no. I think he's anybody that scores goals. That's the most important bit in football, putting the ball in the net. I think he's got better. He'd left Partick Thistle a few years ago and nobody would touch him. Went into Wraith Rovers and, got himself fit. So, that was the biggest thing for me, was just getting the fitness about him. Because I think he's got speed. I think he's deceptively quick. He has got a little change of pace that he can, get beyond, especially in the Premier League in Scotland. So I knew he would handle the step up. And I think he could play for Celtic. Yeah, he could, because when you're playing with better players, it becomes easier. You get more chances, and you see most of the goals he's scored with Hibs. Maybe some of the time he's not involved in the play, a bit like Shankland when he got his goals, but he's always seems to be there. And that's something that Griffiths had a lot of. Maybe not touch the ball or be involved in the build-up, but it's across there, one shot at goal, and it's in the back of the net, and it's a great habit to have. So, I do see him sort of kicking on and going up a level.
Euan, you're a fan of Kevin Nisbet?
I like him. I think, like Jackie says, he's a really instinctual kind of striker, and those aren't ten a penny nowadays. I think strikers are expected to do so much in terms of being part of the pressing play and coming deeper to set up. Often, if teams playing with three up front, they often come deeper to facilitate inside wingers and all that kind of thing. So getting like a traditional kind of number 10 is very, very useful to have. I think he's a quality player, and I know he's only. It's still only relatively recent that he's playing for Hibs, but what a debut campaign he's had! I would have absolutely no objection to taking him to Celtic. I can tell you that for nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like Andy Robertson, isn't it? Way he came to the Premier League after being kind of cast aside and had such a good season. So yeah, I'd be for it. I've given my thoughts on that in the channel before. Back to Scotland and current Celtic players. We've got, I think, 6 Celtic players in the squad, if you include Jack Hendry. So you've got Hendry, Greg Taylor, Ryan Christie, James Forrest, Callum McGregor, and David Turnbull. I was saying to you just before we came on, guys, I'm a wee bit concerned as to how many of these guys we're actually going to see a lot of in the tournament. If we go through them, Jack Hendry, possibly. I think Steve Clarke quite likes him, but we'll have to wait and see. Greg Taylor's probably got the hardest job anywhere at the moment, with 2 of the best left backs in European football maybe ahead of him.
At least that.
I think Ryan Christie's liked as well, but I don't know, with the season he's had, is there better options there? Would Stuart Armstrong be a better option than him? I certainly think so. James Forrest, does Steve Clarke like wingers enough? Will he play with wingers? I could see James Forrest and Fraser perhaps not getting as much game time. Callum McGregor's probably the obvious one, but again, there's question marks even over his place. And David Turnbull, as good as he was against the Netherlands, it's the hardest part of the pitch for him to break into. For the starting lineup against the Czechs, Jackie, how many of those do you think we'll see starting?
I think possibly a push two. I think two at a push. I think possibly McGregor. And I think he might stick with Christie just because of the qualifiers, and he seems to like him. I think Forrest has got a chance of starting, purely because he'll play with a three and won't have to have a threat. Possibly Robertson down the left wing back, and it could be Forrest on the right wing back. And how they set up against Holland. So I would say two, possibly three out at the Celtic squad.
Forrest did do quite well against the Netherlands, didn't he, at right wing back? I think everyone's kind of had it in their head that it'll either be Stephen O'Donnell or the Rangers fellow, whose name of Nathan Patterson. But James Forrest could possibly be an option there. Euan, do you have a Scotland team kind of in the back of your head somewhere, or what are the key areas of the pitch that you think are going to be hotly contested?
I think it's so different with major tournaments because not starting is no disgrace whatsoever, because each game is so individually different and requires different kind of players at different times. It's not. I mean, obviously, because we deal with club football the majority of the time, it's kind of we'll think about it in terms of there'll be a trusted starting 11, but I think you'll get three different lineups. I really do. Of the Celtic / KV Eastender contingent, I think Jack Hendry seems to be pretty well trusted. I still think his position is suspect. I don't necessarily think he's good enough in the air, but if Steve Clarke likes him, Steve Clarke likes him. I think Callum McGregor is supremely underrated internationally. I think he has a really, really important role, and he kind of gets forgotten in all the amazing midfielders we have. He's probably the only kind of his exact type. You can play him further forward if you like, but he's, I see him more as a sort of box-to-box midfielder. You can have McTominay behind him, kind of lying deeper, sort of defending the defenders, if you like. But the energy McGregor has getting up and down the pitch, I think that's really valuable. Christie, I really, really want Christie to have a good tournament. I think he gets a lot of stick, a lot of it deserved, but as an overall contributor for Celtic and Scotland, I think he's been fantastic, and I think just mentally, just for his sake, I really, really want him to kind of be the breakout star for Scotland. He's already been instrumental in getting us there. I still believe he could be if he signed a new contract, he could be a really good Celtic player again. So I realise I'm probably in a minority with that, but I rate him very highly. James Forrest, yeah, it depends. I think against maybe Czech Republic, we'll probably go at them. And I think you could see James Forrest on the right. I think if we play someone like Lyndon Dykes centrally and maybe Che Adams off to the left, I think James Forrest is really good foil for Lyndon Dykes. His crossing's excellent. He's fantastic at cutting inside as well, providing options. So, yeah, I think we'll get three completely different teams. Well, not completely different, obviously. It's going to be Scotland still, but I think we'll get different lineups for each match, just because they require different kinds of personnel. So that's a really non-committal answer, isn't it?
No, it's all right. You dodged that well, mate. You did a good job. We're moving on anyway. You'll be delighted to know that's the contingent of Celtic players in the Scotland camp. Interestingly, there's no other current Celtic players out with Scotland, which I found quite surprising. I can't remember the last major championship when there was no other Celtic players. There's usually like a Swedish player or a Danish player from Celtic somewhere, but none of that this time round. But there are a few ex-players. Belgium may be your second team because they've got Dedrick Boyata and Jason Denayer. Finland, of course, have Timo Pukki. And I say Belgium will be your second team, but your second team will hopefully be Sweden because they've got Mikael Lustig. And not just Mikael Lustig, they also have Jordan Larsson, of course, the son of Henrik Larsson. So that should be interesting. We're looking forward to that. What teams are you looking forward to seeing, Jackie, out with the obvious Scotland?
I'm looking forward to seeing Sweden, Henrik's boy. Hopefully he's involved. I was talking to him a few weeks ago, and he was absolutely delighted that his boy's been picked for it. He was buzzing, as you would be as a parent. And I think just the usual. I like watching Spain. I've always liked their football. It'll be interesting to see how they shape up. in France. I think France look quite strong as well, what I've seen so far. But no, I think it's going to be a good tournament. I think there'll be a few surprises, and I think it's been a year of surprising. Results and teams that you have to look further than our league. Johnson won 2 cups. It's just been a crazy year for different things in football, and I could see this being a bit of a surprise as well. So hopefully it's Scotland that's surprising a few.
Well, is it 18th of June? We'll take a wee surprise at Wembley. That would do us all nicely. Sweden will be interesting. I think they're actually one of my 2 dark horses for the tournament. And it's not just because of Lustig and Larsson. They've not got Ibrahimovic for this tournament, Sweden, so Jordan Larsson should have more of a chance of playing, but they've got a really good up-and-coming squad. They've got a fella, Alexander Isak, who plays up top, and I think he scored 18 goals in La Liga this season. They've got a boy Kulusevski from Juventus, who's a hell of a player, and I don't think they've got too bad a group as well. I can't remember exactly who's in it, but I think they can definitely come out of that. My other dark horse is Turkey. They are getting some very good results at the moment, and they've got a really strong defence. Euan, what about you? Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, I thought I had the hot take coming in here and going, Sweden will actually be pretty good. Obviously, I'll be rooting for England. No, I like the sort of kind of subplot of Joachim Löw's last. Is it Löw? I don't know. I did tire German. I should know that. I like the sort of subplot of him having his last tournament. If he'll be any good, what he'll do for personal hygiene at the tournament, I don't know. I think there was another one. There's a good one as well. Portugal, are they dark horses though? They won it last time. They have such a good strong, they have quality. Squad. They've at least one absolutely quality player in every position. So you can imagine them doing well. But yeah, I'd like Sweden to do well for obvious reasons. I still miss Mika Lustig.
One word then, unless it's Czech Republic. Who's going to win it, Jackie?
You want to take Scotland? People would come and take me back in the hospital. I think it was to Scotland.
No, it's all right. Listen, we've got a good team, Jackie. We've got a good team.
I've got a feeling France are going to win
it. Scotland, France final. Kevin Nisbet, James Forrest,
I'll take that.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine, by the way? Can you just imagine? Just getting to the competition had the whole country in tears, and that's getting into the top 24 teams in Europe. Can you imagine if we actually got to like the quarterfinals or did a Wales and got to the semis? It's going to be amazing, guys. Delighted to say we'll have Jackie as part of our coverage during the tournament as well. I think you'll be with us after the first game, Jackie, the Czech Republic match. So look forward to that. Thanks for your time, guys. Remember, everyone, subscribe to the channel if you've not done it yet, and we'll speak to you soon.